Welcome to our tub. Come on in. It's warm inside, and there's always room for more.
This podcast contains adult material and is intended for mature audiences only. If you're under 18, grab your rubber ducky and find another tub. This one's not for you. Hello and welcome back in the tub for episode 216. I'm Mr. Berg.
And I'm Mrs. Berg.
And this week, well, if you are listening during launch week, this is Exxxotica Chicago week. Mm-hmm. That being said, last week we went through seminars, went through some of the list of
who's going to be there.
Yes. So this week, we're actually joined by a special guest that will be in attendance, and we're going to discuss with him some of the fun, exciting after parties that are in store for that weekend. As we say in the intro as well, thank you to Lady Spicer. She had reached out and got us in touch with our guest. He gives us some perspective on a different side of sex work in the industry. Our guest has really been through the world of gentlemen's clubs, from DJ booth to general managing, and now really handles a lot of clubs under his belt. He oversees a lot, and one of them in particular is the Admiral Gentlemen's Club in Chicago. We discuss really a lot of that, as it is a feature spot for the after parties of Exxxotica coming up this weekend. We plan, as it is right now, to be in attendance on Friday to check it out. We know some people who have been there in the past and really had great reviews of the place. Mm-hmm. So looking forward to it. And, well,
they have a decent booth presence.
Yes.
At the convention, don't they?
Yeah, they will. They have a pretty nice booth. He will be there for most part of the day, I'm sure. At a point, he does get back over to the club and get ready for the evening. But again, we're going to kind of sit back and relax ourselves and let you, the listener, enjoy this conversation and get some insight, as we said, on a different aspect of sex work and adult entertainment. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our conversation with Mike Dickinson. Welcome back. And as we begin this segment, we are again welcoming a very special guest into the tub. We want to thank Lady Spicer for coordinating this conversation. As listeners know, throughout the years of the show, we have shared the stories and life experiences of sex workers. And as many have shared, the vast umbrella it covers, many have begun their journey perfecting the art of dancing at local gentlemen's clubs around the country. Our guest today has a long resume of managing these clubs on a large scale, operating and managing top-level recognized clubs throughout this country. It sure isn't as easy as you would think, and so much goes into that success. He's here today to share stories and shed light on another part of this industry that some, we're sure, take for granted. Please take a minute and welcome Mike Dickinson into the tub. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, we are well. As we talked prior, I mean, sitting waiting for flights out to continue traveling. But well, hey, that kind of goes with the territory when you're operating and handling as much as you are right now.
Yeah, there's really no days off. Every day there's more projects to do, more events to book, more business to oversee. It never really stops. Everybody thinks it's a lot of fun and that you just get to hang around and talk to beautiful women all day. But this job is really not like that as a strip club operator, gentleman's club operator. It's 24/7, 365.
Yeah, definitely. And again, so definitely a lot of stories we're sure you've kind of have to share and some different things. But there is a lot going on. So before we get started, can you let the listeners know where can they find you online and on social media to keep tabs on what you have going on?
I'm on Instagram and X at I am Mr. Mike D. At Instagram and X, they haven't kicked me off of there yet. I mean, they're deplatforming a lot of people, but they haven't gotten to me. So X and Instagram, I am Mr. Mike D. And then any number of, usually on there, I'll be posting or tweeting about or posting pictures and flyers and promotions for the events and the features and things like that we have coming up. So those are the best two places to find where I'm at and where I'm at that week and what I've got going on.
Awesome. So as you said, where you're at, so can you share kind of what is that footprint that you're involved in right now when it comes to clubs?
So right now, I work for the Pony Clubs owned by Jerry Westland, one of the legends in the industry. I run the clubs in Tennessee, Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri for him. I oversee about 20 club operations. So I'm always on the go between one of those 20 places, and it's always something going on. It's a variety of clubs, everything from small town USA in Johnson City, Tennessee, to big city, Chicago, Illinois, to everything in between. Big clubs that are gigantic and legendary and have their own Wikipedia page like the Admiral Theater, to little tiny clubs that you would never be able to find if you went looking for them, like Mouse's Ear.
Well, and that right there, I mean, it shows the breadth of what goes on, because again, you have large clubs like we've been, as we travel with the show and we just travel, we like to check out clubs throughout cities and find, I have days that I'm like, boy, a small little laid back small town club is great. Other times we're going to big clubs. We want to have that feeling. You mentioned the Admiral. Last year, we were at Chicago Exxxotica, and we had some friends that were featured dancing there and did not make it there. So from that aspect, can you share a little bit of is it, from your standpoint, the same planning and thought, whether at a big club, a little club?
Yeah, when you're planning events and who you're going to book to bring in, you're looking for people overall in 2026. You're looking for people that can get attention, and it's very hard to get these days. Back in the day, it was very easy. You just put a flyer up and so-and-so is coming. These days, you kind of are looking for somebody to be a marketing partner with you, so to speak.
Fair. You're
looking for someone who's got a significant online presence themselves, someone who is going to be able to assist you in getting the word out and mobilizing their base as well. So that's what I kind of like to look for when we're planning events. But, big club, small club, besides being a strip club operator, I'm also a strip club consumer like you. Mm-hmm. And, when I travel around, I secret shop a lot of clubs. I shop a lot of clubs, or I call it secret shopping clubs, because they don't know who I am. And, sometimes the little small clubs are the ones where you have a great time at. And, when you're creating that atmosphere and that environment, whether you're in a big city or small city, that's what you're kind of looking for. I mean, there's some tiny little clubs that you would never guess are really, really fun and really, really good, but they're so out of the way. I doubt anybody outside of the city they're in knows about them.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, I'll just, for example, like I travel for my day job, and I travel to Cleveland, Ohio. Like, we're based in Pittsburgh. There's this little club in Cleveland that I just stumbled upon. It was close to the casino and in between like the casino and my hotel. It was fun. It's almost like a martini bourbon bar. It's small. It's in a strip mall. Literally, it's in a little strip mall. There's a Subway and a convenience store next to it. But I'm like, well, I wasn't quite sure. You never are. And I walk in, I'm like, all right, here we go. They got I'm a bourbon guy. It's a great bourbon selection. It's laid back. It's fun. It's relaxed. So, again, you never really know. Open a door and go in.
Yeah. You never know, and you never know if it's going to be fun, and if the dancers are going to be fun to talk to and engaging and interactive, or if they're going to be standoffish and not interact. You never know, and it's just one of the things. There's some really good ones out there that, unless you go around, you're really never going to know about. So, what we try to do is create awareness for all the clubs that I oversee. I'm constantly trying to create awareness and engagement about what we have going on, and get people interested in talking about them, and get people to where they'll come through the door and want to check it out.
Yeah, and again, that's the biggest. At the same time, in the hospitality world, it really is
Right.
the toughest thing right now. As we talked. I mean, I run a restaurant. I do restaurant consulting during the day. You have to figure out how you're going to stand out. And as you mapped out the areas that you're in, well, all of those are different as well. So you really have to be in tune with the local markets of everywhere you are.
Yeah, and you kind of have to be on top of, we do a lot of things. I try to do a lot of things that are tied into what's going on in that area, like down in Tennessee and Knoxville and Johnson City. We'll do stuff all the time that plays off of Tennessee football or SEC football or quarterback drama. We play off of that stuff all the time. Like we had last year, I think we had a birthday party for Morgan Wallen. We invited him. He didn't show up, but we still had a good time. And we had like the Morgan Wallen Olympics and people throwing chairs off of the building. It was pretty funny.
Wow.
There. And in Chicago, go ahead.
No, we were just saying
wow.
that's awesome. I mean, it's a great play.
Yeah. Yeah, we do stuff like that. And then, in Chicago this weekend, WWE had a big event up here this weekend. And so we had a girl that was on a wrestling TV show at the club hosting an event for us. So we're always looking for ways that we can tie our promotions in locally so that they resonate and make people interested, make people laugh. And, there's so much seriousness and so much tension in the world these days, where if you can do something that makes people laugh a little bit and have a good time and want to come out and have a good time because they laughed at whatever joke you made or whatever kind of an event you're doing, that's the key to get them interested these days.
Sure. Yeah.
And we've even seen when we've gone down to one of our clubs that's in the city and near the sports arenas and stadiums, like when there's a game, after the game is over, that's when the amount of people in there will kind of pick up a little bit.
And they're always running promotions or they're doing stuff. Some of them even slightly cut a dress code. Like there's an unspoken dress code, I guess, in some of the nicer, bigger clubs. And they're a little more lenient when it's right after a Penguins hockey game or something like that.
Right.
Or wear your jersey, show your ticket, like tie that in. It's going to be interesting here in this city because we're about 8 weeks away from the NFL draft being held in Pittsburgh. And really interested to see how that's all going to play out and how the clubs are going to promote that. Because you got to tie it in, as you said. I mean, we have a very good friend in the industry that is dancing in Pittsburgh during that weekend. And I talked to her the other day, and she went, "Hey, they just added an extra day." And I said, "Yeah, do you know why?" I'm like, it's the draft weekend. It starts on Wednesday. There are going to be thousands and thousands of people in this city. Try to capitalize on it.
Definitely, there'll definitely be there'll be lots of people that are interested in whatever kind of promotions going on with football, and they have money to spend. I mean, there's so many people around the NFL and the draft itself. You've got agents, you've got the players, you've got the family members, you've got their media people, you've got everybody. And so, yeah, I mean, those clubs up there will be very smart to tie into that and try to do something. And you also have the Pirates season starting soon. I know the Pirates haven't been very good, but they have a chance to be good this year. They've got some good young players, and
from what they're saying,
Livy Dunn hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you've got Livy Dunn hanging around the stadium every day. I'd do something and play off the Livy Dunn and Paul Skeens. I mean, that's kind of a funny thing that I haven't seen anybody do yet.
But yeah, you're right. So, really, I mean, what you kind of just shared is it's not just about managing within the building. You better be good on marketing. You better be on top of this stuff. That is important.
Yeah. When I was a kid growing up, I was a big fan and follower of Larry Flint. Mm-hmm. And I remember one of the things that he used to say about Hustler back in the day, which is anytime there's a controversy, we try to insert ourselves into the middle of it. So whenever I'm thinking of events to do or ideas or marketing plays that we can make, I'm always like, how can we get ourselves in the middle of this? Recently, I think it was like a month or two ago in Chicago, CM Punk said that he wants the WWE to run a show at Wrigley Field, the legendary baseball stadium. Wow. I'm like, well, what can we do with Admiral for that? I was like, well, let's offer Admiral up as a wrestling and they'll never do it, but we can say, hey, if you want a legendary historic venue in Chicago, Admiral Theater will be happy to do it. And sure enough, we got some press and traction off of that, and a bunch of sports blogs and Yahoo Sports was talking about it. They were like, well, somebody took up CM Punk on his offer for a alternative venue for wrestling, but it wasn't a baseball stadium. It was a historic strip club.
And name in the media. There you go.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So you've been in this for a while. How has that progression? At what point in life did you say, hey, this, I want to do this and get involved in this type of business? What drove you this route?
Well, when I was a kid, I was a fan of Larry Flint, and then I was in school for a while. And then I got into the strip club business as a DJ. I was the day I finished my my doctorate at VCU. This was like 20 years ago. I went to and I was a DJ at a strip club that night. I got a job as a strip club DJ, and I was a DJ for like a week or two, and then I was managing the club. And then from there, it was just moved up very quickly. But it was a job where I found that I could do the business aspect of it, which I love. The events and executing events, what I love, and then also being able to play around and get stuff in the media and play off of ways to get attention and do that. I mean, I've always been like someone that liked WWE and using non-traditional methods to do marketing and getting attention and bringing awareness to the brand and building a brand, and so. This was kind of just all of that. And I've been okay at it for a while, but the last few years, everything just kind of fell into place and I've been kind of on a roll.
And that's awesome. Perseverance. And as you said, you have everything because the club, you have to have that marketing standpoint. You have to have the business and the management. You're essentially managing the dancers, the bartenders, the DJs. If there is a kitchen, there could be that aspect of it. We know there's two of them here in Pittsburgh that have full kitchens and restaurants within them. So there's a lot of different avenues, but yeah, you're helping build a brand and a name. With the Pony Club, well, there is the backing financially that you're able to kind of run and do, and to be able to get to that level that it's like, hey, you're running 20 clubs. That says a lot about what you've put into it and just the track record of success.
Yeah, I think of my job every day as a combination of bar rescue meets landman. Every day it's, bar rescue meets landman. Every day it's you've got all these clubs that you've got to run and manage and make sure they're doing well, and you've got to troubleshoot and solve problems while you're at it, and you've got to manage the people that are keeping the clubs going. So that's very much kind of my life is bar rescue meets landman. I'm always on the road too. I'm always going from one place to another. to see what needs to be done there or how we can do that one better. So that's kind of a good analogy for my life. Bar rescue meets landman.
And that's a pretty damn good one. And again, coming from food service, you know, the bar rescue world, I mean, that's a different world. Having our experience in, you know, the sex work world, you know, we know, and it's a joke, but sometimes, like, wrangling porn stars, people have said it's like wrangling feral cats. They're everywhere. So now you have the dancers, and so many personalities. You got to be pretty damn good on top of things.
Dealing with, you know, porn stars and feature performers and house dancers, you know, they're all different. Mm-hmm. You've got to deal with them all differently. And I tell this to the managers every day. It's, you know, it's a wide range of what you have to do to get the most out of them. Some of them, you don't have to do anything. They're going to come there and make their money and go home. You don't even have to say hi to them.
Yeah.
Others, you have to be personal friend, personal therapist, talk to them. Oh, it's so, you know, and motivate them like that and let them handle it like that. Others, there's lots of different others. You have to just be, you know, very stern, like, no, this is how you do. It's a
father
wide
figure
range of approaches. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a wide range of approaches with the same end goal. And so, like, when I'm looking for managers in the clubs, it's hard. It's difficult to find people who can understand that, because a lot of people come in and they're not okay with a 21-year-old, you know, girl saying, well, you know, cursing them out or yelling at them, and they don't understand that you've got to bend but don't break to achieve the goal, which is you want her, if she makes money for the club, to be in the club working. You've got to get her to buy into what you're trying to do. You've got to get her to listen to you, and you've got to be able to get along. And it's not easy, because sometimes people, when they're in management positions, they're not going to be okay with somebody, you know, a quote unquote, a little 21-year-old girl cursing them out. But you've got to find ways to get around that and get her to like you, so at least she'll come to work and make money for you in the club.
And again, that's not wrong. It's I go through that in the restaurant business. You know, it's kids coming in, and I am the stern. I am the very much, you don't get a participation trophy. And I've had people look at me and they're just like, well, you're such an asshole, and I'm like, look, here's the deal. The doors are open. When the doors are open and customers are here, it's about them. And I'm going to direct you. At the end of the night, we're going to sit at the bar and have a drink, and it's not personal during business hours. This is how it needs to be done, and let's move on. Like, we'll have a hug and freaking be done at the end of the night. But during the day, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I could be a point where I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? And you do, but you have to be able to judge personalities pretty quickly.
Right.
And
right.
So when we have had conversations with featured dancers, featured dancer friends over the years, from your standpoint, and we hate going back and winding the clock back, but what do you see is the biggest change and struggle in your industry since the pandemic? How has that affected it, and how have you been able to navigate around that? Because it's changed.
Yeah, a couple things that I've noticed. Well, one, people go out maybe once a week now. You've got people that come out once a week. It used to be every Friday, Saturday night was good. These days, pretty much the trend everywhere, one night is really good, the other night is average. It's very, very rare where you get Friday and Saturday being very good. Most of the time now, if Friday's really good, Saturday's average or below average, or vice versa. Early in the week, you're lucky to get anything early in the week these days. It's just people aren't really going out as much, whether it's they haven't caught up financially, whether it's other reasons, whether it's they're budgeting more, whether it's they're afraid of political stuff, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's been one struggle. Another struggle, and this is really with the feature world. Today's celebrities are all they're influencers. The ones who have learned how to navigate social media and make themselves a celebrity on social media. That's more valuable and more branding than almost anything else. I mean, we've worked with a lot of people in the clubs, and the people that we've booked feature wise that put people through the door the most consistently are the ones that have really spent time, and they post the little get ready with me videos and videos of them doing their makeup. But for some reason that resonates and has a lot of pull. It's crazy. I don't get it. I mean, but it works.
It's wild how
I don't get it.
Yeah, social media drives so freaking much. It's the bane of some people's freaking existence because it can be time consuming, it can be painful, it can be emotional because they take you down, they ban you, but it's such a volatile part and an important part of this industry because it's free marketing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, even if you think outside of just this industry, if you want to become a musical artist, what's the best way to do it now? Make a song and get it viral on TikTok, and you'll be able to have a record deal in a month. If you want to be an actor, what's the best way to do it? Make a bunch of skits, get them on TikTok or Snapchat, and you'll get a deal to be on a TV show within a month. And so it's not just us in the strip club industry that are seeing this, but it's a lot of other industries too. Even in sports, the players who are getting the most attention these days, sometimes they're not even the best players. They're just the ones that have the best social media profiles and have the best social media branding, and they get all the attention, which is good for them and their team to build their brand. And so I've noticed that with, like I said, the people we booked, the ones who actually are very successful at driving people through the door and putting butts in the seats are the ones that spend time with their socials.
And and again, yeah, you're absolutely not wrong. And it's funny because the servers, frigging the one thing I say so many times in the restaurant during the night, if I walk into the server station, they're standing there on their phones, and I'm like, there's food to freaking run. We are not worried about being IG famous right the fuck now. Get out of here. And they just look, they're like, oh, IG famous. And I'm like, do your job. The IG famous world, though, that's you're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also the IG famous and the whole social media. It's also played a big role, really, in the work ethic of other people. I mean, it has its benefits and it also has its drawbacks. Mm-hmm. Where finding good workers these days and finding good people that want to work the doorman job or the security job or the job that's not that glamorous, it's very difficult because everybody sees how easy influencers make a job look. I'm going to get up today and look pretty and walk around and take pictures with beautiful women, and that's my job, and I don't have to mop the bathroom or clean up throw up, and but a lot of people see the image on Instagram and, well, why should I have to be the one that takes the trash out? I'm not going to do that job. So I know, especially when I'm looking for workers, it's substantially harder now than it was pre-pandemic to find anybody. I mean, before the pandemic, you put a job ad up and you would get 50 or 60 applications, and half of them would be decent and show up to the interview. These days, you put up a job ad, you're lucky if you get maybe 7 or 8 applications, and out of those, you're lucky if you get 1 or 2 that will show up to the interview.
Without a doubt. I mean,
or if they are willing to do those jobs, they want a crazy amount of money to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The number involved is insane.
Yeah. Nobody really believes. I mean, I got to where I am by working my ass off, and it just seems like a lot of people today don't have a work ethic, or they don't want to get paid. They want to get paid today for where they might be at in 3 years, but they don't want to get paid today for what their skills really are today.
Without a doubt. I mean, when there's kids coming out of high school saying, I'm going to be a Twitch streamer, I'm this, I'm that. I mean, there was a 23-year-old kid that walked into the restaurant and he was like, oh, this and this and this. And he was talking Food Network terms. I've been in the industry for freaking 30 plus years. I've moved my way up. And this kid's like, well, this is what I need to make. This kid goes, I need $98,000 to be a line cook. I looked at him and I went, dude, you were on the bottom end of my numbers after 30 years. You better get a grasp on reality. Mm-hmm. You're out of your mind.
Yeah.
And literally, I'm like, we'll hire you. And I told my friend who owns the place, I said, he won't be here in 6 months. In 4.5 months, he stopped showing up for work.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, when he said 98, I looked at him like, are you out of your mind? Like, what are we talking about? It is tough all around, from just getting staff, from doing to be able to do. And what you shared, we've talked to, friends that have done feature dancing, and they've come in to a club and they've been there on the Friday, and at the end of the night they're like, "Ooh, this was rough." I'm like, "Well, tomorrow will be better." Mm-hmm. And again, Saturday they're like, "Hey, today was pretty good." So it's one or the other. I've walked into, as I shared about this small club in Cleveland. I've gone in on, it's normally like a Wednesday or a Thursday that I'm in town traveling and I spend the night. And I've gone in, and the places, there's one or two other guys in there. And they know me now there, because from my standpoint, I'm like, oh man, there's only 2 cars. If it's a new club, I'm like, I'm going to spend a lot of money. Like, I want to go in, I'm going to tip the dancers, I'm going to have a couple drinks, and I'm going to leave. Like, I'm not looking for dances, all that. And I'm like, if I'm the only guy in there, I feel like I just really need to spend a lot of money to be like, all right, take care of all the girls. That's just me. I'm like, if I'm there, it's like, okay, here's 20 here, here's 20 here, here's 20. And I'm going to spend more money if it's slow. So I don't know if my theory is the same during the week with other people, that, oh boy, there aren't many cars in the parking lot. I'm not going to go there because I'm going to spend a lot more than I budgeted for.
Yeah, it very much could be, guest count isn't what it used to be during the week. And people, the parking lot is one of the things, it's one of the weird indicators of what makes people decide if they're going to go in somewhere or not. It strangely always has been. It's why one of the old tricks of the strip club world is you make all the dancers and employees park right on the front where the road is, so that if someone's driving by, it looks like it's a lot of people there.
There you go.
Because
all
people,
right.
people are psychologically, whether they don't want to go somewhere, they're the only person in the building, or whether they don't want to spend a ton of money on everybody, whatever it is, when people see more people there, they actually will be more prone to come, whether it's just an empty parking lot.
But we've also seen, too, where it's busier in there, and you have those people that are monopolizing the good seats around the stage, and they're not tipping the girls at all.
And that's my biggest pet peeve in a club. If you're going to sit at the stage or at the bar, tip the girls. Don't be like stop. That's one thing that really does irritate me at a club. There's someone there and they're, here's $1 every 10 minutes. If you're sitting at the stage and you want cheeks shaking in front of your face, you better, just like we say at the end of every episode, pay for your porn. If you're going to a club,
exactly,
it's the same thing. If you're at a club, take care of the girls. Mm-hmm. It should go without saying.
Yeah, and people, believe it or not, it's funny. People actually complain about, I was in the club and nobody would talk to me, and you're like, well, did you put any money around the stage? Well, no. And so, and you have to tell them the amount of money you spend in the club depends really. That's how much of a good time you're going to have. If you want to sit in the club and have everybody talk to you and be nice to you, it's directly correlates with how much money you're spending. Yep. If you're not spending money or sitting at the stage and you're not putting any money up there, it's not going to be a very fun night. Versus if you put some money up there every song and continued everything like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, whether it's they don't understand, whether it's their, don't have the financial equipment to be in the club, whatever it is, a lot of people haven't been educated towards that. And it's weird to say, I know, because you think everybody would know that, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah. Club etiquette really is, it really is a thing. Like, hey, if you want to go to a club and you got $100, well, have a couple drinks, go to the stage for one song but just go that route, and you can still have a good time, but don't monopolize and think you're going to have, 3 dancers, multiple dancers coming up if you're not really showing that money. So, that's their job.
Right. That makes complete sense. If you're not tipping the girls on the stage,
They're not going to talk
pay
to you
for
at the bar.
And you're not going to, if you can't tip the girls at the stage, what makes them think that they have a chance of getting you to pay for
a lap dance, a private dance, anything like that? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, a lot of people don't realize that, and a lot of people try to come to the club with $10 to spend for the whole night, and they don't understand that it's fun for everybody, but you've got to be realistic in your approach. Somebody I get complaints. Occasionally someone sends in a complaint, and I have to look into it, and it's, I was in the club and no girls would talk to me. None of the dancers would talk to me. And it's the same thing where you ask them, well, where were you sitting? Were you tipping? Did you buy a dance? Well, no, I don't have, I only bought a Red Bull and I was just sitting there. And well, not to burst your bubble, but the amount of money you spend in the club is directly connected to how much of a good time you're going to have.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. And the dancers talk when they get off stage and in the back, they're going to say, hey, the guy here, no, not this guy over here. Hey, he was throwing money. Yeah. He was fun. I had a conversation while I was dancing for him. So, all of that stuff, because we've experienced that. There are, if we go to a club, when we go together, mm-hmm. It's always like a fine line, and we understand it. So, we're lifestyle. We are open. Mrs. is bisexual. We go to a club, we're having fun. But if we're sitting together, there are very few dancers that will approach us. They will then, if she goes to the bathroom, someone will approach me and have a conversation. And I'm like, look, no, we're here because she wants to be here. So it seems like there's a few, everybody has been like, oh, well, we love couples and when they're here and they both want to be here. Mm-hmm. You have to portray that because, or as soon as she starts putting dollars on the stage for dances or throwing dollars, that changes the kind of landscape, for lack of better terms, because they realize, all right, well,
I'm not there just to keep an eye on you.
Exactly. So
I am, but
exactly. Yeah. So and again, think for any couples, and again, once that's always been out there and known by dancers, so many will approach us throughout the night. Mm-hmm. And have a conversation. We'll talk. It'll be a fun time, but it has to be that standpoint. And then they're like, "Hey, couples are great. We love seeing a husband and wife in here having a great time."
Mm-hmm. I'm sure they've all seen their share of psycho wives, girlfriends.
Yeah. So, from your standpoint, is that something where you have your managers kind of speak to dancers or have them kind of understand how to tread with couples until they know, hey, it's a safe space?
So, a lot of the time these days, especially with the new dancers or young dancers, and when I say young, I don't know, under 30. A lot of them, I've noticed this amongst dancers when they come in, and also when I go around to other clubs and shop clubs. There's either they have game and they can talk and they're not afraid to sit down and talk, or they're socially awkward and they won't sit down. And if they do sit down, it's 20 minutes of talking about the weather, and they won't ask about a dance, or they won't sit down at all and they just come up to you and say, want to dance. There's very few dancers these days that have the skill set to be able to sit down, conversate for 3 to 6, 7 minutes, and then be able to drop the do you want to dance? Because I can tell you, as a strip club consumer, it's very, very frustrating when you go to a club and you would buy a dance, but they don't ask, and it's very frustrating. And sadly, it's a lot of dancers today. Either it's because they're socially awkward, whether it's because they don't have the ability to do it, whatever it is. It is a epidemic.
And so with that, and we've had conversations before, unfortunately, some of this generation, because they spent essentially 2 years at the end of their high school years,
right,
doing virtual schooling, that's socially awkward, is a real thing.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, from my standpoint, if a dancer comes to me and, hey, how you doing? This is my name. So we going to get a dance? That for me is an immediate turnoff. I'm just like, hey, look, my response is always very cordial. I'm like, look, I'm sitting, I'm kind of relaxing for a little bit. I'm having a drink, I'm unwinding. I'll be here for a little while. But that's an immediate, and that's just personal. Again, it's just I'm like, hey, I'm looking, I might be looking, or we might be looking for a dance at some point, but to be like, hey, hey, like, let's show me the money now. Like, relax, we're cool. Let's have a conversation. I got your stage name, but what else is happening? So there's a fine line between all of that.
Right. And it's one that a lot of dancers today don't have. Either they're over aggressive or under aggressive.
Sure. When
asking for dances, and there's not a lot of. I mean, some of the dancers who are the most effective, they're the dancers who you would say are in their mid-30s. I mean, they've got, because they were in the clubs before the pandemic, and they learned how to read people before all of that. And so they know how to sit down, they know how to hang out for a minute, they know how to hang out, talk, and read the guest, and then ask them if they want to dance. I mean, or ask them or not ask them. They know how to read the moment. And like I said, a lot of these younger dancers don't. It's either super quick, hey, you want to dance, or they don't ask at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And as you said, ask, we're having a conversation on weather, on sports, on something else, which is cool. It builds rapport, but you have to have the sales mentality. And after 6 to 8 minutes, you'll be like, bam, let's go. Okay. Hey, you know what? I'm coming up on stage shortly. I got to end politely. Excuse yourself.
Right. And you got to be able to, and a lot of them, they don't know that. I mean, if you, as someone who's a guest in a strip club, it's very awkward when you're there and you would totally buy a dance from this dancer, but she's not asking you, and then you have to ask her. That's very, very awkward, but that happens a lot these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you want to do a dance? Because, and that's that standpoint. You're like, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, there's so much. Look, the dancers aren't in love with you. They don't think you're great. They're working. Guys are like madly in love with it, and I get it. I've been to clubs with guys that I work with, and they're like, oh yeah, you're probably going to get a freaking look to get a dancer. You're just going to throw a lot of money with her right there. And I'm like, why? And they're like, oh, because we know. And I'm like, but then it is awkward. You're like, so do you want to get a dance? Do you want to do a dance for me? Yeah, it is. It's a weird spot.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
So as we've talked about, just all of these little things and really stuff that you work through on a daily basis. We are quickly approaching Exxxotica in Chicago, which is where the Admiral is. for those that aren't aware that haven't heard it yet. Do you have anything planned? Anything going on? We're in Chicago. We travel to Chicago every year for Exxxotica, and everything we've heard is it's a great club. We haven't been there. Last year we were going to, and our schedule didn't allow us to get out there for it. But we've heard great things about the club, great things about the space. Anything you can plug for upcoming Exxxotica?
Yeah, we've got a big weekend planned for Exxxotica. We're going to be rolling out all the announcements very soon.
Okay.
I can tell you so far, Lauren Phillips.
Love Lauren. Lauren's a great friend of the show. Love her.
Yeah, she's going to be there both nights, Friday and Saturday. She's a great friend to the Pony Club. She's our official brand ambassador. So she'll be at Admiral both Friday and Saturday night, and then she'll be there. She'll be there Sunday night too. So all 3 nights she'll be in town. She'll be there. We've got some other big surprises we're working on. We're going to have Charm Days. Charm is a major social media influencer that we've used as a feature in a lot of places. She draws a crowd. She's going to be at Admiral all 3 days as well, and at our booth. We're going to have a great big booth at Exxxotica again this year, with 2 poles and music going the whole time. I'll be there. Staff will be there. We've got a bunch of our managers coming from all over to come up and help. We've got a bunch of great dancers coming up to help from all over. So it's going to be some big events, and it's also going to be some surprises that we're going to be announcing very soon.
Awesome. And you did last year. You had a nice booth. There was a nice footprint for you at that convention. And again, we tell listeners, like, Chicago is a great show. We had never been to Chicago until we started going for Exxxotica. Honestly, we still have never been to downtown Chicago or anything around. Like, we stay in Rosemont. It's one of those, we drive out, we get in Rosemont, we stay in the host hotel, and we typically don't leave.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, from my standpoint, like, or both of us, like food people and culture and everything, it's like, we got to explore Chicago a little bit, and we just never have.
You know, Chicago, I love Chicago. I mean, I live in Tennessee. I grew up in Virginia, but Chicago is awesome. And it's everybody is always saying it's, crime. And there's areas of Chicago that are real bad, but the vast majority of the city is very nice. I mean, I've came and gone from the Admiral at 4 a.m. before when there's nobody around, never had a problem. I've been downtown Chicago a number of times, never had a problem. Great city, great restaurants, a lot of stuff to do, sports, culture, museums, great city.
Yeah. And every big city really is that way. And Pittsburgh's that way. It's like, all right, you stay in this area. I mean, I grew up here, so I know you stay in this area. You don't really go here after a certain time. Like, there's crime. It's not good. That goes with every city. Again, I travel to Cleveland regularly. There's parts of Cleveland you don't go to. There's parts that, what? You don't have an issue. Mm-hmm. So it's just like any other, we were just out in Vegas for AVN. Well, Las Vegas is that way too.
Yeah, without doubt.
So awesome. Well, again, so there's a lot, it's worth it. Any listeners that are going to Exxxotica, listeners, as they know, over the next couple weeks, we're going to be kind of discussing and breaking down Exxxotica and what's on tap for Chicago. So we'll be there. You'll be there. The Admiral is going to be cranking for 3 whole days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it sounds like, which is a fun time. And it's not all that far from the convention center at Rosemont, correct?
No, it's about a 10 to 11 minute Uber ride.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with it. I mean, people will jump in an Uber 20 minutes to 30 minutes to go get dinner. Well, yeah. Why not? Yeah, why not hit that 10-minute Uber ride over and check the club out and have a good time? Yeah. It's gonna be a fun time. So hope you guys can make it to the club all 3 nights or a couple nights, and we'll be there. Yeah, definitely. So one more time as we wrap up this conversation, which has been really just great. It gives it more of a glimpse into that club atmosphere for people that are going and realize what goes into the back end. It's not just a matter of unlocking the door, turning on the music and the lights and saying, all right, let's go. There's a lot involved. realize, again, as we said, when you're there, go there. Yes, you don't have to go there with thousands of dollars, but if you're going, spend money. Take care of the dancers. Take care of the bartenders. You can make it as fun of a night as you want it. At the end of the night, it's about you as the patron in this place making it a good time.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So one more time, real quick, before we wrap it up, can you let everyone know where can they find you online and on social media to find out what's happening at your clubs across the country?
I'm on Instagram and X at I am Mr. Mike D. Instagram and X, give me a follow. I'll be there. I always post things, post pictures, post flyers, post previews of what we got going on. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. Follow me. Exxxotica is going to be a great time. I encourage everyone to come out to it. Come out, check us out. Check out the booth. Check out the Admiral Theater. It's going to be a good time.
Awesome. Well, again, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And we will see you in a few weeks in Chicago.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
All right. Well, there you have it. If you're up in the air about what you're going to do at Exxxotica after the convention, here's something that is worth extending the day and enjoying throughout the night. Mm-hmm. So again, as we said, our plan right now is that we will be there checking the place out on Friday. Look forward to meeting Mike in person during the convention at some point during the weekend.
And we don't know exactly what the weekend festivities are there. Right? He kind of kept that.
Yeah, they did. They kept
under
it.
Wraps.
Definitely kept it under wraps. And I really haven't seen that there were who any features at this were as of yet. So, still a surprise. But it's going to be good. Mm-hmm. It'll be a fun evening. And again, a great take on just a different aspect that we've really never had on the show and really sat down and had the conversation. So appreciate him taking time out of his schedule to just sit and chat with us a little bit. Again, look forward to meeting him coming up this weekend in a very few short days. Mm-hmm. But with that, I think we need to get our stuff ready. So we're going to wrap this one up.
That's 216.
Don't forget to follow our social media for all episode updates and some sneak peeks of what is yet to come. Our Twitter, IG, and Reddit, all at Berg Couple for Fun. Facebook, In the Tub with Berg Couple for Fun. And our website, inourtub.com. You enjoy what you hear? Please like, share, and drop a review on your favorite listening platform.
Don't be afraid to be yourself safely and responsibly. Live your desires and fantasies and always pay for your porn. Thank you for hopping in the tub to enjoy this episode. And until next time, we'll keep the lights on and the tub warm for you.